Right.
Like evaluating it on the spot. Like talking through it together.
I almost think that started from the lyric thing. And that, I don't even know how, like you said, I don't know how that started or where that started from. It was just like,
That was good.
but it was like one of those like opportunity came up. And you were, it absolutely started with your interest in poetry, I think.
Wow, Dad, that was a brilliant connection. Did you think about that on your notes, or is this coming up now?
This is all off the top of the head. My notes are very minimal.
That was amazing.
What's the connection? What do you mean? I don't
From
even know the
poetry to
connection.
lyrics to our discussions and how well they go. That's pretty. I think that's accurate, and I never thought about that.
Well, that's definitely how it happened. Like you were getting into poetry and you were writing some pretty impressive stuff, which I have some in here.
Oh my gosh, how?
Oh, I have emails. I I've been trying
How?
to, but you were starting to show interest in that, and then I'd show you something back.
I'm not over that. I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
No, I wouldn't read like a whole.
Oh, do it.
What was the one that you have? The
Oh.
Do you remember your apology one that were all crossed out?
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
vaguely. Oh yeah, that one was.
She had a. I have it here, but I'm
Do
gonna
you
go.
really?
Yeah, but
Wow. How? How?
I mean, after a while, you wouldn't share them, and then when you share them with me, I'd like either take a screenshot or like copy them and and then transcribe them into Google so I have them.
I don't have these.
But she had one. You had one that you had. I apologize for this. It was like 20 lines of apologies, right? Like, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for this. And then they were all crossed out. And you get to the last one. It was something like, but remind me again why I'm the one apologizing.
Yeah. That was a very, very, very interesting child. I got the idea of crossing it out from a book of like, in the book that, I don't remember what book, but they would write stuff and then they'd cross it out. It was almost like as they were writing, they would cross certain words out and like change them, almost like an unedited book. And I liked that idea, and then I put that into a poem that I wrote.
And that was less poetry form. It was just interesting. Like the
Yeah.
meaning behind it was really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, this there is points in relationships where you're just the one that's apologizing all the time.
But then it's victim blaming, kind of like where the person starts victim blaming and like making them seem like the victim, and then you're apologizing, but then you realize, wait, I'm the one who was hurt in the situation, and you're just pretending to be the victim and making me feel bad. But you're the one who hurt me. And I think that's what probably started that poem.
And it doesn't even have to be hurt. Like it can just be like you're constantly just trying to make the other person happy. So I'm sorry,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then eventually you get to a point where you're like, you know what? If I'm apologizing all the time, maybe this isn't the right thing for me.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to stop, like, when people tell me they're sad, I've consciously tried to not say I'm sorry, because just saying it puts the blame on me. So if someone's like, I had a really bad day, I won't say I'm sorry. I'll like try to help them in a different way, because I figured out that like it takes away from the meaning I'm sorry, because when I say I'm sorry, I want someone to understand that I'm consciously like saying that I did something wrong and I know it hurt them, and you know what I mean?
I do. Wow. So that's a really interesting point you just brought up right there. I think that like if you're having a bad day and I say I'm sorry, you're right. You're right. You're kind of like accepting some kind of blame. But what are you? If you do say that, what are you sorry about? Like, why
I'm
even
not.
say that?
That's why I've consciously stopped saying it, and I've just approached it differently and comforted them in a better way. And I think they've been receiving it a lot better, because when I say, oh, I had a bad day, and people are like, I'm sorry, it's like kind of passive. It's just like, something you
Right.
can just like say and it be done.
Well, for me, just thinking about that, like off the top of my head, it's such an unmeaningful when it's used. It's just like
Yeah.
you said, it's a brush off. There's no meaning behind that. It's such an empty word,
Yeah.
and I find that annoying.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I know
Like
you do.
aggressively annoying. That's why I stopped.
Right. But okay, so the larger thing I think I want. So I think this is one of